But in the end, over time, in my opinion, this is going to take a weird natured construct based on science, technology, and automation, meaning robots and AI systems taking over mass production, simplicities. Um, we need to create a global democracy, not a global government unto which governs our human rights and our temptations to molest and manipulate through profit structures. And each given boundary of governments and governance, micro and macro unto itself, should always principalize health and education just as much as they do firemen and policemen. But as far as family structure, theological, philosophical interests are indulgent, that's always part of the parent structure, because you never know where you're coming from at this point. And they can only do the best they can with what they've been taught from birth themselves. And the facts of life are never-ending sort of passed down DNA between a family member to family member. What that manifests itself in a communication which relevates on really all the variable values of our democratic interest is within their own reasoning. To harp on that into which you don't understand as evil, without having hard evidence it's leading them to evil. One has to redefine what the fight against evil and evildoers is. One has to be well-skilled and well-traveled nowadays through the internet to grasp where the other continents are even at. For me, that took searching Chinese search engines, looking into Middle Eastern journals, studying Bollywood, Nollywood, grasping South American revolutionaries, and watching documentaries on everything from the Aborigines of Australia to, a lot of World War II, unfortunately. But yeah, it takes a real indulgence to grasp how educational film can be a very entertaining form if you allow it to be. No one wants to go out there dummy. I remember a Friends episode where Joey's like, are you having a hard time having conversation with your friends and seeming smart? Well, buy encyclopedias. We will teach you all sorts of stuff so you can look super smart. Joey's like, really? I can look super smart and be the best sex giver in the freaking group? This is awesome. Joey was a beautiful, innocent character. He wasn't trying to be dominant, he was. But not in every way. Chandler had his humor, Ross had his reason, and Joey had his way with the women. But, what being a Renaissance man in the modern day is not, manifesting a way to be a sculptor, an artist, a poet, so many different things. It's about grasping the arts of life, really. It takes forever to become a well-comprised artist of many things. I've never become much of an artist. I do know, or once I did know, the Adobe Suite well enough to be able to figure out how to create grasping marketing, infographic structures and videos of documentary-based interest relatively, well. Um, how to be comedic and clever in catching the memories of a customer. Uh, and understanding algorithms of uh, how one thinks when trying to search for a source through simply words. Um, well, those are the best arts I ever technically got. Other than that, it just had to do with being a good friend, being an open-minded interest, uh, discussing, not debating. That's all the variables of what a response, as opposed to responding, is. Uh, you know, Reacting is an emotional variable. Responding is an intellectual one. And that's how you keep the interest of your both difficulties of contemplation in a moment definitive sit there through aside, if you will, by circumstantial multivariables of interest that counter the last thought or engage and amplify it. If you have a debate and you never say you're right, then he's never going to say you're right. And then it's just two guys trying to prove each other wrong, and that never goes anywhere. So, you know, think discussion, think response. Don't react, don't debate, even though when you have to win a fight, there is some necessitative principles in proving the other guy doesn't get you. And why what you get is focal to the context and the modern circumstance we're indulgent upon.